Hey everybody, how's it going? We're outside here on my deck. I've had a wonderful, and I mean wonderful break, and I'm about to head back to school. Hopefully just finish out the semester strong. I'm gonna put in an application for a mental health nurse practitioner program, which is really exciting because as you guys know, my passion is mental health, particularly looking at the psychosocial variables that contribute to mental health and mental flourishing. And when we dig deep, we see people are very different. They have different personality traits. And that's what I've really enjoyed talking about. I think there are genetic set points within the autonomic nervous system that are contributing to the way that we really respond to stressors in life. And I think that's very interesting. I think we need to have that conversation. And I think, being a type 9 in the Enneagram offers me this wonderful perspective. I think the reason I was thinking about a topic for the video, besides just updating you on what's going on with me. And I came to the conclusion that it would be wonderful to talk about indecision, as I've talked about in other videos. Indecision, specifically as a 9 and an INFP. So indecision is this aspect of my personality. We can understand that if we give context to the inferior function, namely extroverted thinking. Because extroverted thinking, what it's doing is it's making decisions based off of objectively verifiable phenomena via our senses, right? It is the empiricism worldview at its finest. It's that empirical bias that we all carry as INFPs. But you'll see that we push that away, we suppress that. And that's very interesting, isn't it? Why do we suppress that? You'll see that pattern come up and come up and come up. Well, for me, I'm actually interested in that. I'm interested in the facts. I'm interested in what the world can show us through objective phenomena. But I prioritize the subjective. I respect the subjective. I respect the identity of people and really the authentic expression of that. And I think in order to have a deep respect for authenticity and then express the ability for the individual to express themselves, comes a respect for being in the world. It's an orientation in the world that says there are things that are happening in the world right now that are more active than anything I could possibly contribute. You could use the word passive. Oftentimes passivity is connotated with a negative personality trait. But I think the 9, particularly the INFP 9, is in this unique position to have a deep respect for the active processes within nature, within others, etc., and creating a space for those things. But the thing is, the priority is creating the space for that in here first. How can I find inner stability? How can I find inner peace? How can I find congruence here? And then creating that space for others. It's really beautiful when you start to see this pattern. I think it's beautifully represented through the work of a humanistic psychologist, Carl Rogers. You really see this extreme representation of this persona in his client-centered therapy. And I literally was, at one point, creating this ideology in my own mind without ever having read Rogers. And I read Rogers, and I was like, whoa, this guy and I, we're really approaching the world from a similar bias. How beautiful is this? So with all that being aside, the point of this video was to talk about being indecisive, right? Well, the point here is that if you're a 9 INFP, it's so important for you to make decisions. So important because you make decisions in order to build preferences. And we don't have preferences just based off of subjective feelings. That's not enough, I think. I think we need to explore possibilities, and then we need to come to convictions and conclusions about what the world is sort of telling us and speaking to us. I like to think of the world as God's laboratory, and God is calling us, beckoning us to do experiments in the world. Some of the things that we need to do with experimentation may have to do with, intellectual pursuit, social pursuits, you name it, but we have to step into the world and we have to make decisions. But what's really the thing I was trying to articulate before I kind of went off on a rant about Rogers was that there is a deep need for this respect for passivity in our society today, particularly in healing, but even within families. We need the sensitivity. We need that that respect for those processes that occur within nature and within other people. We need to build and sustain a loving connection, and I think that's what nines want. They know that there is love in the world, and there's nothing that I need to be doing to receive that love. And this is so hard for someone like a type 3 to understand, but I think that the 9, when they're able to sit in their own body comfortably, they know it. And in order to make a decision, I need to know that. I need to know that love is available, that everything is going to work the way it should. And when we're too busy making decisions, or if we just kind of go with what you might say is the norm, the herd, or what an authority figure says, we can be prone to losing touch with that authenticity. And that's what I'm trying to defend in my life, because I think it can produce health, well-being, and a true connection that can last, more than the moment, more than those feelings in the moment, but can extend on for weeks, years, and for a lifetime. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that reflection. Here's Molly. We're outside in the sunshine, and we're having a good time, but I gotta get back. I gotta get into the car, and I gotta drive to Augusta, Georgia, and finish my semester. This semester I'll be a lot busier because I'll be working full-time, and then taking some classes, I think, that require me to do like a final thesis or project. But yeah, I hope I can cultivate balance within that process, and keep you guys updated along the way. So if you want to keep updated with me, let me know. Like the video, comment, and if you want to see more from me and you're new, subscribe. I'd love to have you. Alright guys, take care. Bye-bye.